A very Merry Christmas to one and to all. This is Jesse, producer for Go.Mad with Doug and Brad. Welcome to a very special Hutchcraft Christmas. Joining us in the studio today are Doug and Brad's wives, Anna and Sara. Now, Doug and Brad have always been a little Christmas crazy, but Anna and Sara bring a different perspective through their experiences growing up on the Navajo reservation and in Liberia. Together, they talk through what it means to make a difference at Christmas time, no matter where you are. So grab your hot chocolate, turn on the Christmas lights, and let's go mad.
Welcome, everyone, to the Go.Mad Show with Doug and Brad, and, of course, our producer, Jesse. We are excited to welcome you in, especially to this episode, because it is a very special Christmas episode.
It's the most
wonderful time. We won't be singing the whole time. I just want to give you that heads up. So
Wait,
don't
what?
tune us out right now. As part of this episode today, we're going to have some great Christmas memories. We have got some very special guests in studio with us. And I want you to know that we want you to stick around because we are going to get to how to have some very incredible, meaningful, simple Christmas make a difference moments in your world over these next couple of weeks.
What does cold water have to do with Christmas? We're going to get to that, but first, I just love this time of year.
Oh my goodness.
Do you love this time? Ugly sweaters.
I have some.
Fist fights at Walmart over PlayStation deals.
I would like you to take a moment actually to acknowledge what I wore today.
Man. So,
I don't.
Okay, Brad has this.
It's beautiful. Beautiful,
Okay.
meaningful.
It's red. It's got a lot of Christmas lights. I forgot that.
Yep,
it
it's my
actually
Christmas
has
blazer.
lights.
Christmas
He
lights
just
and they
turned
light
it on.
up. That's
Blazer's
right.
a strong word for
It's
it.
a blazer.
So I love, look, it's all part of Christmas. Walmart, everyone trampling each other for the best deals. My favorite part, children being terrified by little stuffed elves on shelves that they think are alive and judging them their every move.
It truly
Mommy,
is.
the elf saw me yell at my brother.
Talk about
No present.
a fear-based Christmas.
Christmas in the air. But for real, if you know the Hutchcrafts, you know we are psycho about Christmas.
We are.
We love it. It really is the most wonderful time of the year. No Scrooges allowed. Man, I was just watching that movie the other day, Christmas Carol already. Remember that? Scrooge gets nasty.
He really does.
Every person that comes around with Merry Christmas on their lips should be boiled in their own pudding.
We were watching a version of it the other night as a family. We're just like, wow. What?
His nephew replies so nicely. He's like, well, Merry Christmas, Uncle. Anyway, I'd be like,
Yep.
no, Uncle Scrooge, you should be boiled in your own pudding. Oh, Merry Christmas. Just for the fun of it, though. Just for the fun of it. I'm not sure why my voice keeps cracking. I'm 50 years old, and it's still changing.
Christmas excitement.
That's
what it is.
All right, so just for the fun of it, Brad, I'm going to throw this at you, a little curveball. Your top 5 Christmas movies, or it also counts, or specials. They could have been on TV, but just Christmas themed. We've got our top 5, and then we're going to have our under the radar Christmas pick.
All right. Well, here's the deal. First of all, I have to ask Jesse first because let's face it, Doug and I are a little crazier about Christmas. Do you have a couple of favorite Christmas specials?
Hoosiers, number one.
Oh, my goodness.
It takes place during the basketball season, which takes place during the winter.
Oh, wow.
And Christmas is in the winter.
Out of the three of us, Jesse is the Scrooge. Let's be clear
That might
here.
be the most random. I'll share a couple random ones I heard. But all right, one more. Come on, give me one more.
I don't.
Any other movie that takes place? He's like any other
Star
basketball
Wars,
movie.
Jesse? Star Wars?
All right, I have to tell you.
Wait, there is a Star Wars Christmas
No,
special.
I was going to go there.
Awful.
I was going to go there.
I asked on our social media for people's favorite Christmas movie. In addition to the normal ones, I shouldn't. Now I said normal. I'm sorry to anyone listening that thinks you might not be normal because of this. In addition to the expected ones, we had people say 2 that were while you were sleeping, which, yes, it takes place during Christmas, but then this enters into the whole...
A Christmas tree in the background while they're having a lovey conversation.
Look, people say Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Oh, here we go.
That's
the next podcast right there.
Yeah, there we go. And someone did say a Star Wars holiday special from 1978.
Did you... I have to tell you something real quick about that. I read John Bon Jovi actually sang on that soundtrack.
Wait.
He did.
What?
He did. He was like a background singer or something. He must have been, because that was like around 1980 something. So he had to have been like 18, 19 years old.
If people fact check this episode,
please don't.
I don't.
Because I just completely made that up. So let's
So
get
here
to
we
it.
go. Here's number 5 for me.
All right. Yeah.
This was tough. I'm going to be honest.
All right.
Very hard list, and I believe there's going to be some controversy about this.
Oh,
but
boy.
number 5, Christmas with the Cranks for me. That's number 5.
Oh man, I forgot about that one. I love
What
that
you got
one.
for 5?
Number 5. That should have made.
It's all right. It's all
okay.
right.
All right. I'm going with the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay, now I'm judging
why
because that's
do you-
higher on my list. But
why
I'll
do you love that one? Why do you love that one so
Muppet
much?
Christmas Carol?
No.
Christmas with the Cranks. I love those moments of someone realizing. It's why Christmas Carol versions, I like those because it's that moment of realizing I don't get it. I've not gotten what Christmas is about. And there is something I can do. It's a heart change. I love it.
The ending is so killed, but it's really funny along the way.
He offers them the cruise. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so I got Muppet Christmas Carol 5, and I got one reason for you. Light the lamp, not the rat.
It's fantastic.
I love
You're going to be
that
surprised
part.
by my list.
It really is. Even if you're not a Muppets fan, there's great music. It's a great soundtrack. Yes, it's Muppets at its best. So number 5.
I'm going number 4, the edited version. I want to be clear on that. Edited version
TBS
of
version?
of Christmas Vacation. We use ClearPlay, kind of edit stuff out, but Christmas Vacation, that's number 4 on my list.
I lose it every time I watch Cousin Eddie knock over that little candle thing in the living room. I mean, I know there's more famous parts, but he's in the living room and he's just like kind of lightly tapping things, seeing what it is, and it completely knocks it over and wrecks it. And
Christmas, I think I'm Clark for the most part in wanting my house to look that way, and it never does. I'm always just like, I've
got number 4. Wait, my number 4. You ready? Elf.
Yeah, I like it. It actually made my honorable mention. I'm going to be honest.
How many times in a row can someone watch Will Ferrell get hit by a cab in New York at Christmas time? Come to my house and find out.
Oh, we skip back all the time.
So
number
good.
3 for me, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life makes my
that made
top
my
5.
honorable mention.
Again, love it. All right, for you, number 3?
I've got a Christmas Vacation TBS version.
Okay.
Let's see here. What's your number 2?
Number 2, all the way up to number 2 for me, Muppet Christmas Carol. I watched it again this year, and I just realized I just love it. There's so many things that makes me laugh. The songs, everything. Love it.
Someone is listening to us in their car, rolling their eyes, saying, "Are these 2 grown men really watching the Muppets this much?" And I'm telling you, yes.
Wait, people are still listening? That is fantastic. All right.
All right. Are you ready for a curveball? You want what I got at number 2?
I am.
Happy Days Special. It's if you can look it up. It's called Guess Who's Coming to Christmas. Spoiler alert! It's Fonzie.
I should have. Spoiler alert. I should have thought of it.
Man.
Okay, that is fantastic.
If you don't think a 70s sitcom episode can warm the cold cockles of your Christmas heart, yeah, you have cockles in your heart.
Should we?
You do.
Should we? You should get that looked at for starters. That is,
that
I think
sound
there's a
like
medication
an ER
for that.
visit.
But let's go with this. Number 1, it's going to be the same. I know it is.
I think
it's
you're right.
a Charlie Brown Christmas. There's no way around it.
Lights,
it is a Charlie Brown
please.
Christmas. Absolutely. Oh, man.
Lights, please.
I just got all warm and fuzzy when you said that.
Just a classic that will be a classic till Jesus comes back.
Now, we are going to welcome in some very special guests here. Doug actually he mentioned our wives, and they are here with us. They have agreed to marry this Christmas craziness and marry into it. And so we have my wonderful wife, Sarah. We've been married for almost 19 years. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
And Anna and I have been married for 26 years.
Merry Christmas.
And we have 24 children.
Wow.
Wait, 3.
No, that's
Three.
we
Wow.
each have 3
I have,
children.
I have a question. We're sitting across from our wives, and I'm going, how in the just look at each other. Let's look at each other for a second. Let's look at them. How in the world did these girls agree to marry us?
That's actually Jesse's been staring in here, wondering that from the beginning of the episode. So that explains that look.
I'm going to tell you this: any single guy, we are hope. We are living hope.
We are hope.
You might not be gorgeous, but have a sense of humor. Take a shower every now and then. You might be surprised.
They decided they could make a difference in our lives. That was the.
What a segue!
So here we go. Now we are going to talk about some Christmas make a difference memories here in just a minute. But I'm going to be honest. Anna and Sara have some different Christmas memories from growing up. Mm-hmm. And before we get to any of that, can you tell us why is that? Where did you each grow up? Where were most of your Christmases spent growing up?
I grew up on the Navajo reservation, so Christmases were a little different.
Now, we should clarify, Anna is Navajo. She grew up there.
Full-blooded Navajo.
Yep. And so can you give us a Merry Christmas in Navajo?
Yat Keshmish.
There we go. So
I am full-blooded not.
You're full-blooded not. I've not heard it phrased that way. That's pretty funny. I like that. So Anna grew up on the Navajo reservation.
Yep.
And Sara?
I was born in Liberia, which is in West Africa.
That's right. And she was born and raised there until her high school years. And so they have a little different Christmas upbringing memories than we do for sure.
So what made your Christmases different? I mean, we talk about being a M.A.D person, a make a difference person. Did you guys have any kind of experiences like that kind of, I don't know, introduced you to or lit you up to Christmas? You got any?
Christmas make a difference memories. Do you guys have some of those that really stick out to you?
I would say growing up, we didn't really celebrate Christmas as a child. I think as I got older in my teenage years, I started to see people around me celebrate Christmas. And I started to see different home experience for a lot of my friends. So I started to, I think, get into Christmas a lot more around then.
These folks, these lovely folks, have to hear Anna's Christmas tree. So just tell them that it's a short story, but your parents, your family not really into Christmas, but still had it in your heart as a kid. Prove it to us right now.
Well, throughout the year, I would, as we drive around the reservation, I would look for a Christmas tree to see which one was a good one to bring home for Christmas. So, and I would rate them, say, okay, this one is number 3. This one is number 2. And I would remember which one, where the exact spot was for the number 1. And I would go back and sometimes I would even hike up there and try to get it by myself. And sometimes I would bring my cousins with me.
I'm seeing young little Anna dragging an axe. I have no idea if this is how it happened, but this is the Hallmark version. She's dragging an axe twice her size.
The reservation style.
Up the mountain.
My goodness.
Forget the axe and just shoved it over. Forget the axe and dragged it back down and just threw it into the corner.
No, I'm picturing that. It's fantastic. Now, I do have to tell you that Doug and I learned, we've mentioned this in another episode, but Doug and I both lived and were able to work with young people on the Hopi Reservation in Arizona for a number of years. We quickly learned early on that while Anna was allowed to get a tree from her land out there, we were not. We went hunting for a tree to chop down in a random area. Hello, Ranger. All right. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that.
They caught us red-handed. We deserved everything that came to us.
All right. So Sara, for you, what were Christmases like Liberia style?
Well, I actually had to fact check this with my parents yesterday because children don't remember times. They remember feelings like dark and cold. That doesn't sound very heartwarming to the cockles. But here we go. We had a little tiny church at the top of a hill that we had to walk to. The church had windows, but they didn't close. They were just open all the time. And it actually surprisingly gets quite cold in Africa in December. So they would ring the church bell sometime between 3 and 5 in the morning. When we heard the bell, we would wake up, get ready, and when they rang it again, we would trudge up the dirt hill to the little church, and I would sit there for sometimes 2 hours shivering while they did the Christmas Eve service, they called it. And that was my wake up to Christmas. And then we would have a feast with the village later in the day. People would come by bringing gifts, big pots of rice or a live chicken, things that really meant a lot. They showed honor.
Did you say live chicken?
A live chicken.
Okay.
You haven't lived until you've been handed a live chicken as a gift.
I just did
The
a double check
feathers.
there, too.
I'm
The
bringing
feathers
one.
are extra tasty.
I just gave away
Who
my
gets
gift for
the
you
beak?
this year, Doug.
Who gets the beak? Christmas gift.
How do you wrap a live chicken? I don't even
Very
know.
carefully.
So those were when you asked me to think about my Christmas memories, those were my first memories. And that doesn't sound very heartwarming. So I've been actually mulling this over and thinking about it this week, what Christmas actually, looking back on it, what the perspective on it shows me today. And it's really been a really cool experience to think back on that imprint on my life, because not only did we get to live Christmas with the Liberian people, they opened their arms up to us, brought us into their traditions. We didn't try to make them celebrate Christmas our way. We got to do it their way. And those early mornings mean so much to me now when I think about it, because it was part of their world, and it was an honor, a blessing to have them open their lives up to us. It makes me think about how Jesus brings us into his kingdom. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not what we would anticipate or expect. And then he brings the feast with it. You know what I mean? It's not always the way we expect, but the reality is so much richer and better. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of it.
Man, people bringing someone else into your Christmas, that's
Yeah.
what stuck out to you. And that is something we can do. I mean, I love how you phrase that. Just they brought you into their Christmas. And there, Anna, to think of the connection there, that there are people, you grew up in that setting where maybe Christmas wasn't big to someone. Maybe they never really got to experience the joy to the world that others are experiencing at this time of year. And to bring someone into your Christmas, it opens that up for them. I'm curious, because you mentioned that, didn't really have much Christmas growing up. Was there ever a time you remember where it showed, hey, someone is thinking about me this Christmas? Was there ever a moment like that for you?
I think as the youngest or the earliest Christmas memory I have was 5, 6 maybe. And we were still living in a tiny, tiny hogan up on top of the mountain. I went to boarding school, so for Christmas break, we went home. And I remember, now, I don't remember exactly who gave it to us, but we got presents at the boarding school. And I remember we would sit in a common room, and students would get called up. They would walk up in the front, get their presents, sit back down, and then we would all open gifts together. And I remember being excited because I got a pretty big present. It was a doll, and I was pretty excited because the doll could, when you turn its belly button or something like that, I don't remember exactly where, but it could grow hair
wait
or
to hear.
shorten.
Oh, okay.
It would shorten the hair.
Oh, that is
So
cool, though.
I
That's
was very
awesome.
excited, and I remember walking home. We actually had to walk home because we didn't have a car, so we walked about 3 miles back to our hogan. And when we got home, I was excited to share this gift, to show my grandparents, to show my aunts, just to see everyone that was there.
Wow.
I was very excited. It was my first, I don't know if it was one of my first gifts, but I just remember being excited.
I cannot wait to get home, search eBay for baby belly buttons.
That is,
But that is awesome, though. I mean,
Oh.
5 or 6 years old, and you were telling me this story the other day, and it really strikes me that you remember so many details about it.
Yes.
You remember how you felt. You remember what you did, and I mean, from what you just mentioned, that may have been your first real Christmas gift that you got, and it's fascinating to me that one person who had a thought and said, you know what, it would be great for maybe some folks who don't typically get a Christmas gift if we made sure they got something
Yes.
good, and how that impacted your life. is and that you remember so much about it now is pretty interesting. It's amazing.
It really is, because what I'm hearing, and we didn't sit around a table and plan for this, just so everyone knows, this was just, we wanted to hear their memories. We have you, Sarah, for you, someone brought you into their Christmas. They shared Christmas with you. Anna, for you, someone was thinking about you at Christmas that you didn't even know, but someone was like, I want someone to know they're being thought of and that they are loved at Christmas. Those are two different things. They're connected, but they're different things. And we can do that in a make a difference way for others this Christmas.
You know, there's this awesome Bible verse that I think about sometimes that has hit me really hard. And it's very simple. It just says, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. That's in Proverbs 11. I mean, you can't outgive God. We've heard that before, but if you get out of your own circumstances, get your head out of your own circumstances and finances and think about others, it's an amazing thing. God loves when we give. And you hear that, it's kind of a cliche, you can't outgive God, but I have experienced that. It's very true. When you bring relief and encouragement to others out of your own bank account, you are going to experience some very cool stuff that you wouldn't have otherwise. It's pretty cool. Check this out. You not only feel awesome about unselfishly helping somebody out of your love for them and for Jesus. That's like, okay, score right there. You also get doubly rewarded because that gift you just gave became, according to God's word, an eternal reward that can't ever be stolen, get rusty, or get lost. And it's more amazing than you could ever imagine. According to God's word, he says, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind conceived what God has in store for those that love him. I call it the boom principle, because every time I hear it, I go, oh, boom.
Nice. Well, and
that's deep.
You know what you mentioned earlier, though, what goes along with that, you mentioned early on the cup of cold water. Giving someone, refreshing someone. Doug, seriously, I know you wouldn't bring this up, but one thing that is a big memory for me, and I know for Dad, is just when we were young, we had a situation where it was you and a red fire truck. I would love for it I would love for you to share it, not because it points to, hey, this is something cool Doug did or whatever else, because he didn't know at the time. We were young, but this was something you did that was, I truly believe, a cup of cold water to someone that needed it.
Yeah, I think this is just proof. That has nothing to do with me. It has proof, though, that God works in even the youngest of hearts. Someone came to our house on Christmas Eve, and they worked in a place called Paterson, New Jersey, which has a lot of poverty. And they just told my dad, they said, look, we work with a lot of families, and we are just short on gifts this year. Do you guys have anything you could help us out with? So Dad mentioned it to us, and I immediately thought of my favorite toy at that point, which was this awesome red die-cast fire truck. It was like almost as big as me. It had this little like rubber hose with it that you could actually squirt water through. I would always squirt Brad's face with that thing when we were playing. It was awesome. No, but I love that thing. And I just kind of ran downstairs immediately, grabbed it, brought it up to Dad, and he said, Doug, are you sure? It's interesting because I was really young, but I remember a lot of the details to this. He said, are you sure? Because that's your favorite toy, isn't it? And I said, yeah. I mean, they apparently there's all I knew is that there were kids like me who didn't have a toy. So why should I have toys and them not have any? That scripture you brought up, Brad, in Matthew 25. This is interesting. This was he's 16 now, and he still brings this up. But this was when my son was very young. This was the first scripture I can remember him really connecting with and bringing up a lot. And it's that, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a lot of us have probably heard that I was hungry, you fed me, I was thirsty, you gave me a drink, I was sick, you looked after me. And they say, Lord, when did we ever do that? And he said, well, I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. And even at 16 years old, my son says, hey, Dad, when we're doing this to help someone, we're doing it to Jesus, right? God's pretty serious about this. He says, if any of you give one of these a cup of cold water in my name, are you ready for this? You have given it to me. So when we see a person in need, shouldn't ever just be thinking we're looking and thinking about that person. We see Jesus too when we see that need.
I think, again, you look at bringing others into your Christmas. I'm just writing this down as we go. Someone thinking of you at Christmas. Sacrificial giving at Christmas, whether it is financial or things you have, whatever it is God leads you to, that there are ways to have that impact. I think when you talk about a need, Doug, I'm so grateful for parents who had a desire for us to know the full Christmas experience. That yes, we didn't have much money growing up. We didn't know that, I don't think, because of the way our mom and dad loved on us. But they wanted to make sure that, yes, we were Jesus-focused at Christmas in the family, that we were being able to have an opportunity to reach others. They really had a Great Commission, and that's Matthew 28, the Great Commission. But beyond that, an Acts 1:8 type of mentality, Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, to the ends of the earth mentality, where it was like, yes, we want to make sure our children get it, but we want to make sure our children are part of, that we are bringing them into doing Christmas for others. And I think part of that is why, for me, this is not, I know there's different views on the guy in the red suit out there, but I'll just say that a ministry in town here that was all about reaching others. They were providing a meal for people. They asked if I would kind of sit in that role. One young lady, she came up. She was a teenager, kind of old for visiting Santa and everything, and she just stood in front of me, and said, "For Christmas, I just want the fighting in my home to stop."
Oh man.
And it showed me, what that showed me in that moment was that there are people that need the love of Jesus during this season. And that starts in your home. Your children, your spouse needs to see the love of Jesus at Christmas. We need to bring that love of Jesus as a family, not just individually, but as a family. Bring your children into those moments. We need to bring that to the world around us. If it's that person sitting outside your local grocery store or Walmart, to have a kind word for them, to help provide for them. If it's something like you said, Doug, a family that's struggling, and you can help provide something for them physical. If it is welcoming someone into your home this Christmas, or thinking of them and saying, "I don't even know you. Operation Christmas Child with shoe boxes. Hey, I have an opportunity to provide something for someone who won't get a Christmas another way." Or if it is saying, "I'm going to bring someone into my Christmas, invite them over for a meal," or invite them to church. People did that for you. They invited you to their church. Invite people. You may think they won't go. This is a time of year they might just go.
It's a time of year where people just are a little more open to the spiritual side of things because of what Christmas is. I love what you said, Brett. I mean, the way to make it a Great Commission Christmas is to be a M.A.D, a make a difference person in the lives of others. Be Jesus. We keep coming back to 1 Corinthians 5:20 if you listen to this podcast. For we are ambassadors for Christ, as if he was making his appeal through us. So when people are operating, when we're in relationship with them, we have to be aware that they are supposed to be experiencing Jesus the way he would do things. If you listen to the podcast, you know that we love to give some practical advice. Brad just had a lot of great examples. Yes, Christmas is the perfect time to get your children to start thinking about, and yourself, about other people and get them involved. This year, in our town here, there's a place with single moms and that are struggling, that have kids, and they have Christmas lists. And you can go and shop and fulfill those Christmas lists, and they bring them to these single moms. We make sure we're bringing our kids with us to help do the shopping so they understand what's going on. It's not hard to find need at Christmas and ones that you could be a part of meeting. You know, we always hear that kind of cliche, well, how do we have Christmas all year round? It's a great question. I was thinking about this, and maybe before Christmas ends, if you're doing something cool like this, helping somebody, find a need, and before Christmas ends, make a plan to meet that in January. Be committed to do it. Maybe put yourself in some level of accountability by telling that organization or telling that group that helps people, I'm going to do this in January as well. It keeps the ball rolling.
I really like that. To be able to, I like what you said about the accountability, that you are giving away for someone to follow up on that. So it's not just a in the moment decision. I think that's fantastic. We hope that you have enjoyed being around the table here with us at this very special Hutchcraft Christmas.
Hutchcraft Christmas Hearth.
And say that 5 times fast. And we are so grateful and thankful, honestly, that we have been able to have our wives here with us who are not big, hey, put me in front of a microphone type of people. So
They need supervision every once in a while.
Anna and Sara, thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a joy. Thanks for inviting us.
Right now, everyone's thinking, can we hear more from them next time? So because they've got amazing stories.
The show just changed from Go Mad, and now it's Go Mad with Anna and Sara.
There we go.
Goodbye, Doug and Brad.
So we know that there's a bunch of you who've been checking out the podcast. We'd love if you share this with your friends. Remember to go give us a like and a review, especially. Reviews really help more people hear this, which helps more people learn how they can make a difference in their communities and with people that they love. So check us out on any of the major podcast platforms. You can find us. And we want to offer to you this Christmas season. We know it's getting close to Christmas, but 2 things. If you just shoot us an email, gomadshow@hutchcraft.com. We would love to send you a copy of the Born to Rescue booklet that Ron Hutchcraft Ministries has. It is an amazing tool to reach others during Christmas and even beyond. But if you want that, or as we offered last time, a copy of our dad's book, Hope When Your Heart Is Breaking, that may be just the thing someone needs to help them have hope during this Christmas season. It might be just what you need.
No strings attached.
That's right. Absolutely.
We're not asking you for anything. You send us an email, we will and give us your address. We'll get that sent out to you.
Our Christmas gift to you. gomadshow@hutchcraft.com. So from all of us here at the Go Mad Show,
Go
Mad and Merry Christmas.